So our next stage now is going to be working on that veranda roof. So I'll orbit around to this front area of the building, zooming in a little bit so we can get a good view of everything on the screen. And I'm going to set out some more construction lines, but once again these won't be maintained as permanent construction lines on layer 0, so I might as well leave layer roof as the current layer that I work on. Now if I go and grab the tape measure tool, and if I was to pull up a construction line from the edge of the veranda slab where I am at the moment, pull that construction line up and make sure you are pulling up in the blue axis direction, so make sure you see that blue. And if we were to type something, a minimum roof out at the a minimum roof height for this line here, if I was to make something like 2400 my minimum roof height out there, that sets a bit of a construction line up for me at that point. I might also set out a vertical construction line along the edge of the slab here. Now I remember that this was 2100 wide, so we could either pull from that edge, pull out, make sure you get green axis. As long as you've got the green axis you can type 2100 and you get a construction line that, if you've done everything right so far, should go perfectly through that corner of the slab, because that slab was in line with the construction. Now we've got to determine a suitable roof pitch for this front awning now, and I'm giving consideration to this being a little sustainable building, and I've always had in the back of my mind that this front veranda area will be facing north. Of course we haven't discussed the site analysis of what would go along with this design, but we'll play the game from now on so you'll understand some of the sustainability issues here, that if we do have this front of the building with some living areas etc. facing north, that would make a good orientation. So if these little roofs here are facing north, that to me has always been in the back of my mind as being an ideal place to place some solar collectors. If I was going to place solar collectors to get some optimum efficiency out of it, I'd want a roof pitch at around about the same latitude of where this site is being constructed. If we were to talk about somewhere being up on the Sunshine Coast or in roughly the Brisbane area, we'd probably be looking at a latitude of somewhere about 27.5 degrees approximately. So if I was to pitch this front roof at somewhere around about 27 or maybe up to 30 degrees, would not be a bad idea. I think I'll stick with the 27.5 degrees. If you wanted to optimize your solar collectors more for a winter orientation, you'd be inclined to steepen the roof pitch a bit more, because the sun in winter is lower in the sky, therefore a steeper roof pitch would have more of a favour orientation towards the winter sun. But for all year round maximum efficiency of photovoltaic panels, an orientation of somewhere very near your latitude of the site is probably one of the rules of thumb that's widely published. So if I were to, from this corner point here, establish my protractor, I need this orientation of this face, the end gable of the building, maintained. So while I hover my protractor over that face, I'll press and hold the shift key. While I'm holding that shift key, that will lock that orientation for me, and then I can come up to this intersection of these two construction lines that we've created, click. Now I have to first of all give it a 0 orientation, so I'm coming back on that construction line on green axis, clicking, and then I'm rotating my protractor up by the roof pitch that I want to create, which is 27.5 degrees. And that's not even looking like too bad a little shape there to create an opposite pitch coming back from the other 15-degree roof.